What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Next Win podcast. I'm your host, Aunt Ma, and co-host Justin Vaseur here. We are two driven entrepreneurs who are very passionate about helping others achieve their goals.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been in real estate for a while now, a few years, and I've known Justin for, 7 years?
Yeah, it's been like 7 years, I think.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this. Justin, throughout the whole time we've known each other, he's always asking me about real estate. And so, I was thinking about, I think this podcast is a great way for us to share with the world and everyone else who is new to real estate.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I've known you for like 7 years now, and I've seen your journey go from owning a small apartment or a small house
Yeah.
to now owning $1 million home.
Yeah, it's
So-
crazy.
Yeah, so like I've always been curious, how do you do that?
And that's actually what I want to talk about today is how I did that in a short 6-year span,
Mhm.
being the average Joe who was living paycheck to paycheck,
Right.
and how I got here today. So we'll speak about that right after a few words from our sponsors. Today's sponsor is Zinju Chili Oil, a crunchy garlic chili oil, aka Chili Crisp.
And Zindru won the 2022 Scovie Awards. They got first and third place, right?
They got 2 awards. OG batch is the normal spice level. It actually got 3rd place. And then X batch was their spiciest. For all you heat lovers out there, got 1st place in the Scovie Awards.
Wow. And they're also vegan, right?
They are vegan. And also, Zinju Chili wants to send you guys a free 9-ounce jar. All you got to do is cover shipping. Go to their website, zinju.com, or click the link in our description box below and use the promo code WINNING to get your free 9-ounce jar. Thank you, Zinju Chili Oil, for sponsoring this video.
All right, guys. Today's episode is about how to buy $1 million home. So, how did you do it?
I would say it's easy,
Right.
but it's also not. So,
I can see that.
being that average Joe, it took me 6 years to get here.
Mhm.
First off was, of course, you got to save up some money, right? And so, bring it all the way back to where I just had a 9-to-5 type jobs and multiple jobs to save money. I never actually really saved it until I used that money to buy a business. Most people have a decision.
Mhm.
What are you going to do with your money? Buy a business or buy a house? And so I bought a business first. If I had to do it over again, I don't know if I would have chose that route, because when I bought a business, I was able to flip it and make some more money.
Mhm.
And at that moment, I was like, should I buy another business or now buy a house because I have money? And I decided to buy a house. I decided to buy a business.
Yeah.
And after doing that business for a few years, I realized that was the wrong choice because I didn't make that much money off that business.
I see.
So I sacrificed all that time, made very little money when I could have just bought a house.
Mhm.
So I sold that business and then I decided, all right, let's buy a house.
Kind of like starting over.
Starting over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was looking for a home with my wife. We didn't have any kids yet. And so we didn't have much money. I'm not saying that I had a business where it was making tons of money. It was just mom and pop shop,
Mhm.
a laundromat, a liquor store, just a self-operating business. So I wasn't getting rich off it, but it was enough to put a down payment on a home, and not an expensive home, a small starter home. And a lot of people usually think that when you buy your first home, we've been thinking about this for the last 10 years of our lives.
Yeah.
What would it be like to buy our very first home? What do I want in that home? Do I want an office? Do I want a gym? Do I want a pool? 2 stories, an attached garage to build a workshop in.
Yeah.
Everyone has these dreams. And so I couldn't find that on my first try. I could only find what fit my budget. And so I had about 70 grand. Okay.
Whoa.
And it sounds like a lot of money.
It does.
But that's 2 people. You know what I mean? That's a husband and wife putting their money together
Mhm.
to buy their first home.
Right.
And so we had to look somewhere outside of the Los Angeles city area. to where it was cheaper if you kind of went out a little bit, a little more east. The
Mm-hmm.
further you are from downtown, the cheaper the housing gets. And so we found this place in Doherty, California, which is about 20 minutes from downtown LA. And it costed us $380,000 for a
That's really
house.
good. Yeah, that's really good.
Right now, you can't find a house like that
No
for
way.
that price.
They're like
But
what, almost $1 million now or something. I
in,
mean, you could probably find something that's like what 700.
I would say in that area, the same area, you could find right now for about 500 to
Oh,
600,000.
okay.
Okay, so it's definitely doubled.
Yeah.
But when I bought this home 6 years ago, keep in mind, yes, it was cheap, but it was also very, very tiny. It was 750 square feet, which is smaller than an apartment. 2 bed, 1 bath. It did have a nice little pool, which is why we decided to get it because we like swimming.
Mm-hmm.
But we lived in an apartment sized home, and that's all we could afford. But I felt so happy when I bought that house because I could call it mine. It was such an accomplishment to get
Mm-hmm.
your first house. So what I learned from that is it doesn't matter if it was the dream home or what. As long as I had my first home, I knew that was a stepping stone.
Yeah.
That was a real win for me. That was my very first win.
Nice, dude.
Not even buying businesses. The
Yeah.
house was the very first win. That's a self accomplishment. So, buying that home, we lived in it for about 2 years. And in those 2 years, it fit me and my wife, you know?
Going into it, like I was thinking, wow, those are very smart decisions. A lot of people will have like $70,000 and then blow off on a car or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
what kind of mindset were you in really when you were buying your first home? Like, when you had that cash, you were just in that investment kind of mindset, or
I was 30 years old at the time,
Mhm.
and between 30 and 32, honestly don't remember. But at that time, that's where I'm like, okay, I just got married and I'm still living with my parents and my wife, and I have a business, and I'm like, I got to do something to take my life to the next step,
I
and
see.
not financially,
Right.
is to be settled. So I can tell my wife that, hey, we have this house for us and we can start building a family.
Mhm.
So it was more about personal reasons and being at the age of like, hey, we need to settle down,
I see.
you know? Um, so that's kind of why we decided to buy that first home.
Got it. Okay. And then living in that home for a couple of years, did you see like a crazy, what do you call it? Um, did you make a crazy profit off of it? Like, what
Well,
happened after that?
the funny thing is, at that time, I was not a realtor. I knew nothing about real estate. I had a best friend who was an agent, and he helped us guide us through the process. And even after living in that home, I still knew nothing about equity and what that
Mm,
meant, what happens when you sell your home. You know, I knew nothing about that type of investment. So I just lived in it,
yeah.
just like everybody else who lives in their home. We just live in it. And then, when my wife got pregnant, we were like, oh crap, this place is only 2 bedrooms and 1 bath.
Yeah.
And one of the bedrooms is an office. So where are we going to put the crib? We can't put the crib in the office. And our primary bedroom doesn't even have a bathroom in it. So it's tiny,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't fit a crib in there either. We couldn't even fit a dresser in there, you know? So I was like, okay, we need to go look for another home. We got to sell this home. And so we actually sold this home for profit. We made about $60,000
Oh,
in
wow.
2 years. And that's when I thought, oh, that's how this works. I had no idea until I was in those moments and those stepping stones.
Ah, I see. Okay.
So it's a learning process, right?
Mm-hmm.
You only learn from what you do.
Right.
So when I sold that house for that profit, I was able to combine that first down payment on that home And that profit that I made, combined it and put a down payment on a second home, which is still in LA County. But this home was $600,000, double the amounts and double the down payment. But what's so great about it is that because I bought my first home so early, um, and made that profit, I didn't have to take money out of my bank account to put in for this next home. I used the money from living there.
Or even worry about saving or
Yeah,
anything.
exactly. I didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people say, I'm going to wait because I'm just going to save up.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, living in a home, you're making money every month. You just don't know it
I see.
because you don't see it. You're not working for it. You're actually just living in it. This is where I would say the term work smarter, not harder.
Mm-hmm.
The money is working for you as you live there, you know?
Right.
So, I recommend anybody who's looking to, if they're thinking to buy a home or wait and save up more, just buy what you can afford right now. You don't have to save up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you don't have that first 60 to 70 grand to buy a home, you can go half that. You can buy a condo at $30,000. You know, I'm talking about all in costs, your down payment, your closing costs, which is paid to, escrow, titles,
Right.
things like that. With $30,000, you can buy a pretty good condo and then also sell that later on and make money, So everyone's situation is different. Like for you, you don't have a home yet, right?
No, I don't.
And
I want one.
yeah. And are you thinking about buying a condo or a house first?
I'm still kind of weighing my options, but like you said, looking into things that I can afford, you know what I mean? Because like initially, I'm like, yo, let me get that $700,000 home because I have all these ideas for it, you know what I mean?
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not even there yet.
Yeah.
So it's like, right now I'm exploring my options and maybe an apartment or a condo, maybe a small home.
Right.
Yeah.
So it took me 2 years to get to that $600,000 home,
Mhm.
and it took a house sale to get me there as well. And when I finally got that, I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm living in a $600,000 home.
Right.
And what's crazy is at that time when we bought the home, we bought it for way more than what it was worth. All the houses on that block were in the 550s.
Okay.
But I was 1 week away from being a father. And I was like, we need a house now. And so we paid top dollar for something that was like, it was going for 600. There's a lot of people looking for that home at the same time. And it was very competitive.
Mhm.
And we actually put 625 on that home.
Whoa.
We were able to negotiate it during escrow all the way down to 600. And so even then, that's like $75,000 more than everyone else on the block. Yet I was still very happy when I bought the home.
Mhm.
Now we're talking about a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home with a crazy backyard and pool. It's like, 7,000 square feet. Inside, about 1,400 square feet or 1,300 square feet home. So it was still quite small.
I
But it
mean,
was,
that's a crazy upgrade. I think that's
yeah,
double the space. You went from 700 to 1,400,
yeah,
and then now you got this crazy backyard too, right?
yeah. It was that was definitely a huge win for us.
Yeah.
In 2 years to get that next win, I was like, this is an incredible feeling. Now we can really settle in. We can have more kids if we want. We don't have to worry about anything. We're in a good area. So I was just really excited about it, you know?
And then,
And then, we lived in it for about 4 years. And in 4 years, you could see that the market has changed. We're talking about in 2021.
okay, how so?
This is when, COVID was going on.
Yeah.
The rates were extremely low, historically low, like in the 2.5%, 2.75. And everyone was like, wow, let's buy a home. The rates are so great.
Mhm.
And so, because everyone thought that, the market skyrocketed like crazy. I don't know if it's because it was everyone was staying at home, and COVID made them have this like, let's go out and buy stuff we've been saving up, or we got EDD money that's saved up, or we're getting all this help. And so everyone just started like thinking about what's important in their life, and it was themselves.
That's kind of crazy during a time like that.
Yeah. Everyone started buying a home,
Yeah.
right? So when everyone's buying a home, it gets very competitive. Like you're talking about 30 to 80 offers on a home, and everyone's just fighting for it and bidding $100,000 over, the listing prices. That was normal in 2021, right?
Yeah.
And so that's when I decided, you know what? Maybe we should sell our home. So
Well, you saw your home go up, right, in price or something? Is that what made you?
that's not what made me want to sell the home.
Okay.
What made me sell the home was moving out of state. Right now, I live in Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada. And I saw the growth and opportunity out here.
I see.
And the life that I could give my kids out here was way different than LA. I grew up in LA for 38 years, my entire life. And I would never think that I could move out of there. But the crime in LA was getting worse, right? All the strict laws with COVID, and worrying about my kids playing in the front yard and there's drive-bys.
Oh, yeah.
That was the big decision there.
Yeah. Because I was staying out there too, and I could see the crime rate going up. There's shootings in front of my house. It was wild.
Yeah, there were people getting murdered like 5 houses down from us.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You got news stations everywhere. It's taped off. Like, it was crazy, So that's when I was like, okay, let's move out of here. I know if we sell the home, we'll have a good chunk of money where we can buy in a nicer area. So we're actually looking everywhere, not just Las Vegas. We're looking in Orange County. We're like, let's look for some dream homes now. Now this is going to be our third house. Now we can really think about our dream home.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about, let's live by the beach. Orange County. We were looking at homes in Newport Beach. We were doing house tours out there.
That's a pretty baller move,
right?
If you were going to do that.
And we're thinking about moving to Hawaii. We're like, if California is expensive, I know Hawaii is too, but at least we'll be living in paradise, And so then we also thought about Texas, thinking about Dallas, Houston, Austin. These are all up and coming cities, and the prices in Texas are insane. It blew my mind.
Stupid cheap.
Yeah, you're talking about 3,000 to 4,000 square feet home with a lake in your backyard for $400,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are we doing here in California, man?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
And so then I thought, well, that's great and all, but what are we going to do when the tornado comes? We might
or
lose
even
our
recently
house.
They had some crazy like winter issue where everything was freezing over and stuff.
Yeah, the pipes freeze. Like, I didn't want to deal with that either. And then we're talking about the property taxes in Texas.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They're so high because it's a no state income tax, and they got to make up the money somewhere, right? And so they made it through property taxes. A $400,000 home is like paying an $800,000 home in property taxes. I mean, it's not bad, but I kind of feel like I'm getting ripped off.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that feeling. So I was like, forget Texas. So then I came to Nevada, and I'm like, no state income tax. Property taxes are cheap. The casino is helping out the city because they pay so many taxes. The tourism is great. I just wasn't sure about family life out here. Because the idea of living in Vegas, everybody knows. Everyone that's listening right now or watching us, like, when you come to Vegas, you're not doing family stuff.
It's party time.
It's party time. Yeah. It's like when you're with your friends, we're going to Vegas this weekend. What are you going to do? Well, we're going to the club. We're getting a table. After the club, we're going to the strip club. We're also going to gamble all our money away. And we're going to go eat some cool stuff. Like, we're not watching shows. We're partying. We're bringing bottles. We're popping them.
Sin City. kind of thing.
Zinju chili is a crunchy garlic chili oil, aka chili crisp.
And what's really cool about the chili is that it's vegan.
Yes.
They have 2 batches. They have the OG batch, which is the normal spicy level, and then they have the X batch, which is really, really spicy. You've had it?
It's very spicy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
I love the OG batch just
Okay.
because I can put it on everything. Guys, Zinju Chili will send you guys a free 9-ounce jar. All you gotta do is cover shipping. So go to their website, zinju.com, or click the link in our description box and use a promo code WINNING for your free chili jar.
But a lot of people don't know that there's a lot of like cool stuff to do outside of the strip.
That's
Yeah.
what I learned from all the locals here in Vegas.
Yeah.
They don't live the way we go on vacation.
Nah.
You know, like you are a Las Vegas native.
Yeah, I was born and raised here.
And did you ever party like that? Like how we do?
I mean, initially when you're younger, when you're 21, 22, you'll go out with your friends and party, go to the clubs and go to the bars and stuff.
But were you
But-
raging like the way we rage?
No.
Like blacking out, sleeping in the middle of the hallways at the casinos?
Maybe 1 or 2 times, but growing up here, you really don't look forward to those kinds of things. You know what I mean? There's a lot more to do. Like there's the art scene, there's all these family things to do out here outside of the strip. So you don't really feel like you need to do that. You might get it out of your system for a little bit.
Yeah.
But then after that, it's not.
That's crazy. It's like we lived in 2 different worlds. You know, when we're working hard in LA at the time and we're saving up, we're like, we got money to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
Let's go spend $1,000 in Vegas
Yeah.
as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, so we're expecting to sleep in a hallway somewhere. We're expecting to get kicked out of the club.
Mhm.
You know, we're expecting to blow all our money on the strippers.
Yeah. Yeah. Not in my experience.
So that's what I learned living here in Las Vegas now. It's totally different.
Yep.
It's all family life. Like I never go to the strip,
Mhm.
you know, but what actually was the moment where I was like, okay, I can afford living in Vegas and actually being able to enjoy it. Like it was selling the second home. The second home that I bought, where I lived in for 4 years at
Mhm.
600,000, because the equity was so crazy in 2021, I was able to sell for almost $1 million.
Wow.
$1 million, man.
That's insane.
In 4 years, I made 400,000 off that home. And that's why we're thinking, where can we live that's like paradise? Because if we're gonna move away from our hometown,
Mhm.
I want to live somewhere where it feels like vacation. So it had to be perfect. And when you go to OC for $1 million, you're still living in a home that's like 1950s.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
same thing for Hawaii. Even worse, $1 million. I'm going back to a 750 square feet home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So here in Vegas, I was looking at homes. They have new builds. You know, they have even their older homes. Sure, you guys have homes that are built in the 70s and 80s, but a lot of them, those aren't around for sale anymore. People are actually staying in those homes because it's so cheap.
Yeah.
Most people, these homes in Vegas, they're like built in the 2000s.
Yeah.
To me, that's still really new. So I was like, I had an idea that popped up like, bing, light bulb. Why don't we move to Vegas? It's still a new city, you know? And so we're looking at all these places. You guys have places like Desert Shores
Mhm.
where you have man-made lakes. And I was like, whoa, for 800 grand or even 700 grand when I was first looking, I could have a lake in my backyard.
Yep.
I can have a dock and boat to that restaurant in that community.
Yep.
I was like, okay.
And it's super quiet and family friendly, you know?
Yeah, they have like a man-made beach for the kids there.
Yeah.
And that's where I was like, okay, I think I want to move to Vegas, you know?
Mhm.
It fits the budget. Property taxes aren't high. I could have that lake in my backyard. I could live like a king out here.
Mhm.
That was my idea, you know? It wasn't the fact of like, I want to live like a king. It's more like, where can I get my best bang for my buck?
Yeah.
And it was Vegas. And so when we sold that house for 400K, that's the most money I ever made at one time. It felt incredible.
You didn't want
So
to buy a Lambo or anything after that?
not yet.
I'm
I
just
think we're
kidding.
getting there. Not yet. We're still kind of
Get
far
a
though.
Porsche or something.
We're still really far.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, I didn't want to buy that stuff yet because
Yeah.
buying this. So let's take it back a little bit.
Hmm.
I sold this home for $1 million in LA, and now I have all this money. You're talking about 400 grand in equity plus the 100 something thousand I had from the previous homes.
Hmm.
Combining it all, it's over $500,000. And what am I going to do with that money? Well, one is I can actually buy a very nice home in Vegas for 500,000,
Yeah.
even at 3,000 square feet that fits my needs. It might be a little bit banged up, but I can have a paid off home right now.
Yep.
So I was thinking, do I want to buy a home that's all cash and not have to worry about mortgage for the rest of my life and take that win right now?
Hmm.
Or do I want to invest it in another house in hopes to flip it and then buy an all cash home with no mortgage? So our idea was, because Vegas is growing so fast,
Hmm.
we're talking about, we just got the Raiders.
Yep.
They're building a soccer facility for a soccer team. They're trying to get the Oakland A's out here. You got LeBron and Mayweather trying to bring a basketball team here.
You got the Formula One.
Formula One, yep. You got the Tesla tunnels.
Yeah.
They're trying to do a bullet train. Um, they got new hotels that they're building. What is it? The new Moon Hotel?
Hmm.
So there's so much going on here that I was thinking, if I just bought a home right now that I think would jump in equity fast, I would want to sell it in a couple of years and then buy a home where I don't have to worry about mortgage after that.
Hmm.
So I ended up buying $1 million home in a new build. And my reason for that was, this was an investment opportunity.
Yeah.
If I bought a 500K home, I still have money sitting around, and I'm at the age where I don't know if I want to start a new business. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I just want to collect. That's where I'm at right now. I've done so many businesses. I've worked so hard in my life with like 3 to 6 jobs at one time. Like, it's stupid how hard I worked before,
Hmm.
you know? But now that I'm more grown and I know that I can invest, I decided to invest in $1 million home. And what I mean by that is, when you buy a new build, I chose a community that was brand new. We're one of the first 10 to 20 homes to buy in here.
Hmm.
And they have 100 homes that they're going to build. Now, with the new build, every month they release maybe 4 homes, something like that, 4 to 5 homes at a time. And every month the price goes up 10 to 30,000. So imagine in 2 years when the community is done building, how much is those first 20 homes worth?
Yeah.
Minimum 200,000.
Hmm.
Minimum. This is if the market doesn't jump like crazy. Now, the market goes back up. Right now, it's a bad time, right? It's
Yeah.
corrections, things like that. Everything's it's not hyped anymore.
Hmm.
But if the market goes back up in a couple years, it'll be worth way more than that extra 200 grand, right? So it could be easy 1.2 mil when the community's done.
Right.
But if all these sports teams come and everything's done building and our community is done building, it could be worth 1.8. It could be worth 2 mil. I've realized that the more expensive the home, to a certain extent, the faster the equity increases.
Mm.
So if you had a condo for 200,000, it probably wouldn't increase too much. It might stay in the low 200s
Right.
for a few years or even 5 years, you know? Um, when you buy, I got lucky with my 600K home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Went up 400K in 4 years, but that's because in LA, it's getting so crowded that there's not much space anymore, right? Just like San Francisco, where everything is 1 to 2 mil, even 1 mil for a 2 bedroom condo.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, right? And so I realized $1 million homes increase so fast. I see my friends, they buy $1 million homes and now their homes are worth 2 mil. I
Mm-hmm.
have a few friends like that. I'm like, well, shit, I should buy $1 million home.
Yeah, give it a shot.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this was our investment opportunity. It was living in our investment, buying this $1 million home in hopes that it can get as close to 2 mil as possible. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to get the biggest win of my life off this house and then really be able to relax after that.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is about stepping stones. That's what I've learned in the last 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
In 6 years, I'm on my third home. And I'm just hoping in the next 2 years, you know,
You'll
just
be at a $5 million home. No, I'm
no,
just
I
kidding.
actually want to downgrade.
Yeah.
I don't need $1 million house.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I need such an expensive home? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, I mean, maybe for work, the space, I need a couple offices in here because there's multiple businesses that I do. But no one really needs $1 million home, you know? So I want to downgrade after this. I want to keep the cash and then downgrade and try to buy it all cash. And if I
Mm-hmm.
can find a home for, 600K in a couple years, I think I'll be happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then figure out what to do with the money next, whether it's putting it all into Bitcoin,
Well, I was about to say
right?
some crypto or something. No, I'm just kidding.
We can, like that's the point of it. It's like people try to save up their salaries to buy Bitcoin or Tesla stocks,
Yeah.
and then you got to hold it for like 10 years or else you lose money.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have assets or a home and you keep making money off flipping homes that you live in, you can use that money for anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the opportunities start to come at you. You can do whatever you want with the money. Yeah. I mean, with that 400K that I made, I could have bought a Lambo and still probably bought 3 Lambos.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
then that's not going to return anything. They're,
You know what? I think Lambos keep their value, don't they? Or Ferraris?
oh, I don't know. They might keep their value, but it's not really an investment, no?
Only if it's limited.
Ah, I see.
So if you get a limited car that's like,
Yeah.
6 or 100 made in the world,
Get a Bugatti or something.
yeah, they do go up in value.
Yeah.
A 1 mil car can go up to 3 mil,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have a mil.
Yeah.
We're talking about 100K, right? So that 100K will diminish very fast to 50K.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned that. I don't want to do that. One time I bought this was 2016, and I bought a 2013 or 2014 Corvette. I was like, you know what? We're about to have a kid in a couple years. I want to live the single life. Well, this non-dad life I want to enjoy it for the next couple years before I have a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought that used Corvette and I was like, wow, this is awesome. It's amazing. I drove it for a year until our kid came and I had to sell it and I lost money.
Yep.
I bought the car for, like 30 grand and ended up selling for 18 grand. That's so stupid.
Yeah. And that's kind of like another thing is like initially when you got that, what was it? When you had your $70,000 from selling your business,
Yeah.
some people wouldn't even think about buying a home after that. They'd be like, I got 70 grand, let me buy a Corvette or let me buy
Right.
this. And they're not really appreciating assets.
Right.
So a lot of, I guess the mentality, you have to have that investment mentality to go into it. So like when, like for someone watching, what mentality or what, I guess advice would you give them as far as like starting out?
I would say think about your future.
Mhm.
Even when I had that first amount of money, um, I wasn't thinking the whole time like, okay, let's buy a home. This is what I've been saving for. It was more like now I have money to buy a home
Mhm.
because I'm like, what can I do with this money? I'm like, now I can afford it.
Mhm.
I never thought before like, okay, let's save up, let's do all that and then buy a home. It just came to me like, okay, now this is what I can afford. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
So what I'm learning now is what my parents never told me was use that money to buy a home.
Mhm.
If my parents told me when I was 18 or 21 that I could do that with 30 grand, I probably have a few homes right now.
Mhm.
But instead, I blew it on, you know, fixing up my car.
Yep.
I had like a 1995 Honda Accord that I turned into a rice rocket. I spent like 13K on that car
Yeah, you got inspired by Fast and Furious or something.
for sure. I did. It was like white body kit,
Yeah.
painted it two different times, white rims, TVs in the car, backseat
Yeah.
at TVs. I was at the point where I was going to school, college, and I didn't even go to class because I was playing Mario Kart in my car
Yeah.
by myself.
Mhm.
Just because I had that stupid money from having like, jobs and making tips and stuff.
Mhm.
If I used that money to buy a home, my life would be so much easier right now.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you guys right now, if you have some sort of change, um, keep saving it until you can buy that first home. That should be your first goal. It'll make your life so much easier.
Mhm.
You know, I really wish I had a home when I was 21.
Yeah, me too.
Right?
I wish I had a home right now.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Yeah.
Like, what's stopping you from buying a home? Or did no one ever tell you that you could buy a home before?
I was never really open to that. I mean, not me personally, but just that idea was never, I guess, brought up to me.
Exactly.
It was there was this concept about saving your money so that
But
later on you can retire, but there was never that conversation of like, oh, these are the steps to buy a home.
yeah, my parents never taught me that
Mhm.
either. They never asked us what we want to do with our money. They just always said, save your money.
Mhm.
For what?
Yeah.
Why did you tell me to buy a home? I
Right.
would have.
Yep.
You know, they just say, get good grades, get a good job, get health benefits, live a good life.
Have a family.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah. And I'm like, damn, I could have had a home.
You know what's crazy is that our parents never said that stuff. My parents, they have real estate.
Mhm.
My parents have owned, you know, an apartment complex with like 30 units in it before because I used to have to repaint those walls for the tenants when they mess it up as a kid, you know? And now they have other rental properties. Why didn't they tell me to buy rental properties?
Mhm.
Or maybe they did and I didn't listen.
Same. Yeah.
I just thought it was stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
But
crazy.
so I think my biggest advice for everyone that's listening today is buy a home. A lot of people ask me, you know, when should I buy a home? Should I wait for the market to crash? And I tell everyone, you buy a home when you can afford it.
Mm.
But you also got to change that mentality. It doesn't mean buy a home when you can afford $1 million home. Buy a home that you can afford right now. If you can afford a condo, go buy it for 25 to 30K. If you live in other places in the States, you can buy something for 70 to 100K.
Mhm.
Like purchase price. I'm not even talking about down payment.
Mhm.
A down payment on a $70,000 home that is available in the South or in the East,
What's that, like 10K? If that?
7,000.
Yeah, 7,000.
Or if you qualify for first time home buyers program, 3.5% of that 70 grand.
Yeah,
That's
that's
not
nothing.
much.
Yeah, it's not.
But equity doesn't jump that high in those areas. That's why they're still that low.
What I love about Zinju chili is that you can basically put it on anything.
Yeah, they don't use traditional Asian ingredients like
Mhm.
fermented black beans or Szechuan peppercorns. So you can literally put it on every food.
Yeah, I put it on my eggs, put it on my tacos. I even use it for barbecue sauces.
Damn, there you go,
Yeah,
man.
it's
I
amazing.
So the owners, Zin and Andrew,
Hmm.
they actually use it on In-N-Out burgers too.
No way, I gotta try that.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
down. So guys, go to our link in the description box or go to zinju.com. Use promo code winning to get your free jar of Zinju chili. But you can rent it out. There's other plans that you can do to get that next win.
Like create cash flow kind of thing.
Right.
Hmm.
I can, like, right now, instead of buying this $1 million home, I probably could have bought 10 homes in the South or the East, for 100K each and create that cash flow.
Hmm.
Rent it out, collect $500 a month from every house. But I didn't go that route. I kind of just want to live in a nice home right now, enjoy it, and flip.
Hmm.
Kind of taking the casual route. This is more like the everyday normal people route where it doesn't affect your life too much.
Hmm.
You get to enjoy it, you get to live in it, and then make some money.
Hell yeah, dude! I appreciate you telling me this story.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's crazy to see that journey. I guess one more thing would be like, if there were maybe 3 things that you can, give advice to, or
Do you mean specifically like for your situation?
sure, yeah, if you could give me like some tips or 3 tips that you'd be like, this is what I think you should focus on.
So for all you guys out there, Justin, you don't own a home right now,
No, I don't.
right? You want to buy one,
Yeah.
and he doesn't know how to get there,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's a lot of people out there who are listening just like that. And I would say first, um, clear your debt.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that if you have massive debt to just pay it all off. Don't do that actually, because you need the money for a down payment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, First is talk to an educated agent or a lender that can tell you what your budget is. A lender can tell you that. You send in all your paperwork, kind of like you're doing your taxes, right? They need your last 2 years of tax statements, and a bunch of other stuff.
Okay.
And once you get that in, they'll tell you, okay, do you qualify or not? If you don't qualify, what do you need to do to be qualified? And they'll tell you, well, you do need to pay this debt, or you need to build your credit score,
Mm-hmm.
or you need to save up a little bit more. But at least they can put you in the right direction and the right path of where you need to get in the next year or two.
Got it.
If you don't do that, then by the time you do have the energy and focus to talk to a lender, it starts back at day one when you could start that now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What happens if you wait? Yeah, I'm going to save up, and you wait 2 years, and in 2 years, it's like the lender tells you, sorry, you don't qualify. This is what you need to do.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn, dude, I should have done this 2 years ago. So today I can buy a home,
Mm-hmm.
So that's my first step is talk to a lender or mortgage broker to put you on the right path. For all you know, you might qualify right now.
Mm-hmm.
No one has any idea unless you talk to someone.
Right.
So that's my first advice. And also, you guys can always reach out to me, and I'll, email you back, antvegashomes@gmail.com. And I'll help you guys put you in the right direction to either buy or sell a home or get you to my lender buddies who help all my clients out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Second piece of advice I would say is it is buying a home that you can afford, staying within your budget. I do have a lot of clients that I speak to, and they say, hey, I want to buy the single family home, 3-bed, 2-bath, but I only have 30 grand.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, you can get some money from your parents or a relative, or you can just buy a condo. And when you're ready for that size of a home, you can jump into that.
Mhm.
Because when they come to me, it's usually just a husband and wife that are just newly married or their fiancés and they're not even married yet. And they want this nice big home.
Mhm.
And I asked them, well, if you don't have the money for it, do you even have the space for that? Like, what do you need the
Yeah.
space for? There's You guys are gonna share one bedroom together. Then there's two other rooms.
Mhm.
What are you gonna do with those two other rooms? And they're like, well, one will be an office, and the other is going to be maybe my parents are gonna stay once in a while. I'm like, bro, that's once a year.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? You're right. I think we can buy a condo first.
Mhm.
So when I talk to people, I let them know that there are stepping stones to get to where they need. You know, you don't have to work so hard and keep saving up. Buy something small. That would be advice number 2. Buy small first. You can always upgrade later. The third advice that I have is don't go out spending your money that you don't have. What I mean by that is, you're going to buy a home. Don't go and buy a crazy expensive car because
Mhm.
you don't need it. A car is just to get you from point A to point B.
Yeah.
So you can just get something cheap for now and you can always get something nice later. You know, um, don't spend money on a Rolex. You know, like for me, when I bought that Corvette,
Mhm.
I was thinking, should I buy a Rolex or should I buy a Corvette? Well, actually, if I bought a Rolex, I could sell it for almost the same amount I bought it for.
Yeah, versus the Corvette.
Yeah, versus the Corvette and losing half that money.
Mhm.
Um, but still, don't buy those things right now. You know, save your money to buy a home. And so, a lot of people say, yeah, I need to save money by, getting another job, things like that. You don't have to do that. Just don't spend. Change your lifestyle. Um, Instead of going to Trader Joe's, just go to a regular grocery store.
Yeah.
Instead of going to the restaurants, make food at home. Live within your means.
Yeah.
So that's my advice.
Just sacrifice a little bit to make the next move.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like to get somewhere, you do have to make those sacrifices. But once you get to that next win, it's it's an incredible feeling and it's all worth it.
Yeah. Dope, man. Well, thank you for sharing.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it. Yeah, dude, that was amazing advice. I think I'm gonna use that for my next win too.
I hope it helped, and I hope it helps everyone else out here that was listening.
Mhm.
Um, it, it it's a very simple process, so I just hope you guys, consider all options and go with it. Get that next win.
Yeah, so thanks for tuning in. Whether you're watching this on the podcast platforms or on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to all of them.
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram. My Instagram is _Antma, ANTMA, and you got Justin's.
And mine's just Justin Vaseur, Vaseur.
There we go. Yep. And if you guys want to email me about any other real estate questions, we do a lot of Q&As on this podcast. We're going to have a lot of special guests on here as well as experts. So feel free to email us any questions at thenextwinpodcast@gmail.com. Or you can also write down all your questions in the comment section down below. So comment, guys, give us a like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Also, don't forget to check out our sponsor. The link will be in our description box. So until next time, guys, get that next win. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, Zinju Chili. They're going to send you a 9-ounce jar for free. All you got to do is go to their website, zinju.com, or click the link in our description box below and put in that promo code WINNING for your free 9-ounce jar. Thank you, Zinju Chili, for sponsoring this video.